primary ignition.
Hi, this is author Timothy Zahn. You're listening to Virtual Cantina Network.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Welcome, citizens of the Empire.
Citizen. Hey, it's me and some oddballs over here.
It's the fan club.
I'm not odd. Only Skip's odd.
Well, that's true.
I am the odd man out always.
I'm actually the odd man out because I forgot to wear my Ahsoka shirt, which I don't have. So,
Yeah,
anyways.
Skip and I are
I'm
twins
your
in
Jedi
tonight.
shirt. Ashley would be proud of us wearing her stuff.
The accidental twins over here. But yeah, so Dave's off doing family stuff, and Spencer had some issues. So we are joined by Sherry and Skip. How you guys doing?
Doing excellent.
Doing fine. Hanging in there.
Cool. All right. Well, we're continuing with our Andor watch along here with season 1, episode 2, and we have some interesting stuff in this one. I think when we did the first watch along, this was one of the 2 episodes that dropped on the first day, I believe. So I'm wondering if they're going to do that again. I was working on schedule for season 2, and I'm like, are they going to? They're likely going to do the first 2 episodes.
So often. I mean, they dropped. Didn't they drop 2 for Obi-Wan? Yeah, they dropped 2 at Anaheim.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what kind of seems like their modus operandi.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering.
And they did the same for Ahsoka also.
Yeah, exactly. So my other thought was, would they go as far as to actually drop 3 because there's supposed to be 3 episode arcs for the 4 years that happen throughout the season?
Yeah, drop them so they can finish the first year.
To have that all kind of exactly, and then it would kind of be more seamless into the next year or whatever.
Well, being that it's streaming service, you can choose to watch all 3 of them at night, or you can break it up over 3 days yourself.
But then you have to worry about spoilers. That's the pain in the butt. I am not a fan of trying to avoid spoilers.
No, I think they'll only have us watch 2 at first because then we'll want to come back.
And get the little culmination of that first year or whatever, however they address it. Yeah,
then hook you.
Then I'm wondering also.
As we joke around, it can only go up for me.
Well, maybe this rewatch of a couple episodes will kind of change your mind a little bit. But I'm wondering if they're also going to do like a final 2 episodes. I really like when they butt up a couple episodes at the end to give you
or at least a really fat one, like an hour.
Yeah.
Like
Well, hopefully in maybe an hour, we'll see. But with the 12 episodes, they tend to be a little bit shorter, I think. Ideally, they're supposed to have a certain amount of time that the entire season takes. And whether it's 8, 12, 16, it should always sort of fill that out, but it doesn't necessarily. I know because Skeleton Crew was 8, and seemed like some of those episodes were a little on the short side.
I think one was only like 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, like 22 minutes or something, which is not out of the ordinary for like a
wasn't Mando like that too? Wasn't Mando like kind of short? They like released a couple episodes, and it was kind of a short one.
They did a few like that. I think Acolyte did that a lot.
Yes,
where they had the weird timed out episodes, and none of them really matched. But also they had the weird idea of cutting it off right when the action started for anytime anything happened. It was like, cliffhanger, time to go to the next episode, and you'd have to wait a week, which is a kind of a bummer. But I mean,
I remember, back in the good old days of real television, where you did have to wait a week before you could see anything.
Yeah, that's true. The days of
network television,
regular network television, exactly.
And then we got spoiled by Netflix. issuing a
Oh
whole
yeah, dropping
season
an
at once.
entire season. Yeah, exactly. That is definitely, the binge culture took over at that point.
Exactly. I was about to say that's the beginning of binge watching.
And which was good, but I still wouldn't sit down and watch 10 episodes of one thing in one sitting. I mean, that would be insane.
I did Ted Lasso all 3 seasons in about, less than a month's time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, but it did give you the opportunity to kind of watch as little or as much as you liked. So that was nice.
It was. What's going on in everybody's life? What happened today?
Let's see. I've been off work because I'm having lovely foot issues.
Oh, no fun.
And so my doctor's got me off. I shouldn't be standing, so I have to wear a boot if I do anything that's going to require standing to kind of keep the pressure off the front of my foot.
Well, Sherry's off work too.
Well, she's got different reasons. But,
Permanently.
so
Earlier than I had planned, though.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind that, but I don't know how well I would do financially that way, So
Do we got the IG up, by the way, Jeff?
yeah, I got it started. I remembered this time. I tend to forget. Thanks for reminding me.
Well,
and we have our timestamp ready to go when we start the episode in 25 minutes.
Yeah, that's something that seems to get missed on Clone Wars all the time. Clone Wars Revisited.
What, the timestamp?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's a spot for it, but it doesn't always get filled in. Hey, Troy's calling you out, Barry.
Troy's like, hold on, you're supposed to be on the other side.
Yeah, you're supposed to be in here with us. But yeah, so there's a lot of hoops to kind of jump through when you're doing these shows, and it's not always the easiest to remember all the things that you kind of got to do as you go along. So I think Dave and I have the most experience, considering. So we tend to
Sherry
make
and
it
I
a
have the
little
least amount of experience.
more seamless.
And we like it that way.
Yep.
It's nice not to have the pressure.
Now and then.
If you lose your internet connection,
Sherry
and I will not be able to stop the show. We're just going to stay on it until either you or Dave show up to shut the show down. We'll just be talking all night.
Me or Spencer, because Dave is out and about, I believe, having dinner or something.
Hopefully Spencer's monitoring us.
Yeah, I would just text Dave and go, get on the show.
So anything else going on? Did we get some announcements this week? Rosario?
Yes, Rosario. I think that's it. Is that the only one we've got?
I think
that's. I don't pay too much attention since I'm not going. So,
Jeff, I mean, do you remember? Is this kind of consistent with the number of people that are like, let's say, London or Anaheim? Because we know you were at Anaheim. You weren't at London, though, were you? You didn't go to London. No, you don't do the out of country ones.
I may have done London had I known they were going to do Japan immediately after. I keep saying it's like I might have chosen to do that one rather than this one coming up, but I didn't have that foresight. So, yeah, I didn't do London, and it seems like lately they've been sort of doing it haphazardly, willy-nilly, kind of different each time. Timing's a little bit off each time. It's interesting though. Well,
I mean, obviously everybody thought that Japan was going to be Orlando, and they were a little pissed at DeSantis. So, Japan, to avoid.
Japan gets the Disney dollars instead of more for Florida.
One way or the other doesn't matter to me. But so there is a little bit of kind of maybe last minute. Let's pull the carpet out from underneath them and run to Japan.
I think it took a lot of people by surprise, but
now I mentioned it before to you guys, but we did have a secret meeting of the North Carolina Executive Council on the VCN, and we threw out this idea that I'm going to throw out today because Spencer's not here and I can get away with whatever I want, and that is, we think that the premier idea for the next family vacation should be a Disney cruise.
Ooh, I like that idea.
Like which cruise ship? Like the Wish or
Isn't there one of them that
Does it
has like a whole
matter?
Star Wars themed
Yeah,
bar?
I
or
think that's the
something?
wish. They
Yeah,
have
I
the
mean, to be able to go to the to hang out in the Star Wars bar on the ship, every evening, and all hang out together. It would be a really cool idea.
oh yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, being
Also,
on a
we've done Orlando and Anaheim,
Yep.
and something different, but still include, because the executive committee, as we were discussing this, we're talking about, well, we could go here, we could go to Ireland, but there's no Star Wars in Ireland. And then the Disney cruise thing came up, and it was like, oh yeah, that would be going somewhere different and including Star Wars.
and
Mhm.
including sort of transportation. We're not in one place. We're moving on the ship, and
We're all staying at the same hotel.
Yeah, we
should
don't
be
have
lots
to
of
worry about
activities.
how we're going to get to places.
Right.
That was a
It's
big
just
thing.
logistics can be a pain in the
And
ass.
doesn't
Big thing for
Disney,
me
I think
is
it was discussed,
California.
does Disney have their own private island?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
have Castaway Key or whatever out there.
And I think they just opened another one too.
Mm.
That they have two now.
Yeah.
So yes, definitely an excellent idea.
I think that's
So
a
if
good
you
thought.
think Skip's idea is a good idea, let us know
Yeah.
in the chat.
Send
Definitely
Spencer
let us
a
know in the
message
chat.
saying we agree with
Okay.
the executive council from the VCN for North Carolina's VCN.
Mhm.
I change
And
that name every time I say it.
It wouldn't be that much work for him.
Can we take a bus trip on? Well,
Yeah. They might have a.
Troy,
We
at
could
least
take a
the
bus
bathrooms
from
will
the
work.
hotel to the port.
There you go. That's
At
what
least
you
we
do.
wouldn't be stuck where the bathrooms were fouled up.
Yeah, the bad bathrooms, or bathroom, I think. But let me see here. Make sure that this is shared elsewhere. I don't know if somebody else is on it.
Thank you, Adrian.
All right, thanks,
There you go.
Adrian.
There you go. We already have
Adrian,
one.
see, I always liked Adrian. She's a very smart and intelligent woman.
Troy also agrees.
Troy, you're there with me. You're my boy.
Mhm.
Yep. We're gonna build up some steam. I am making the snowball, and just starting to roll it up, and then it's gonna build up some speed and go down, and that's what we're doing next.
There you go.
I'm using my what did Spencer call it? My internet celebrity status.
There you go.
Oh my
Use it.
goodness.
Use what you got.
Yeah, I'm gonna be hearing about this later, but that's all right.
Very true.
But
He
once
wasn't here to
the
stop you.
70,000 people all decide that that's a really good idea, then there's no turning this big ship around. Little pun there.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm trying to find this. Oh, there it is. Okay, let me.
So yes, we so Western North Carolina, not to be upped. We had our hurricane. And if those of you follow me on my personal page, we had I'd put up I'd seen it somewhere else, and I put it on my page. It was like 7 or 8 California first responders, and somebody would walk up and ask them, "Have you heard about the hurricane that went through Western North Carolina and the devastation there?" Some of them were like, "I hadn't heard about it at all." These are first responders from LA. Some of them were firefighters. Some of them were other different, and none of them had heard anything. And it's like, oh yeah, everybody in the world has got to watch, for 3 weeks, the stories about the fires in California. And when I say this, don't take this as that I have no caring for it. I'm just frustrated at the lack of attention that my area got, being that we got a larger area of damage, and more lives lost in the floods than there have been in the fires so far.
Right.
And that doesn't even count the homeless people that we don't know about.
Right.
And I know you got some new homeless people in California, but it just seemed like we didn't get
we're
that
a
attention.
little more high profile area, I think, in
Yeah.
general. And then the fact that, there's stars that
And
live in those areas that
it just
are
boggles
drawing
my
more
mind.
attention.
Where were these people at? I mean, here I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio, for those that don't know, and it was on our news like every night, talking about the floods and everything that was going on in North Carolina.
The larger the
And
metropolitan area, the more self-absorbed they are. I won't lean on LA, but Chicago and New York. If it's not happening in Chicago, or if it's not happening in New York, just we don't care about it, you know.
Yeah.
And I get it. It's not bad people. It's just that's the group mentality. No matter where you live, you know,
Sort
that
of what's around me and how is that
not right,
affecting me?
but still, that's not, you know, it's not a personal disgust at anybody. But anyway, so you know, Western North Carolina, we get our flood, and you guys have got fires. Western North Carolina sat back and said, "Hold my beer." Because
No.
now all these trees that are down, and in a little town called Old Fort, we've got an out of control fire now. And I've said since the beginning of this, because you drive through, and it's not like just like they're cleaning up the trees that are close by the interstates and through the neighborhoods, but we got lots of woods here.
Yeah,
And
there's
I went
too
to-
much stuff to.
Yeah,
Oh,
part of it. I drove through a national forest going.
And even
Yeah,
if you
and you
send
saw
out
that
like
too.
logging crews or something, still wouldn't be able to clear it out in a timely manner.
Oh, we've only cleared out, I think it's like 5% of the trees and debris that are down. They call it debris. You know, so the only cleared up like this was like 2 weeks ago. We'd only cleared 5% of the debris from the storm. That's how much debris is out there.
Crazy. I
You
did
guys don't have
post
to clean up debris. It's all burnt up. It's
Wow.
ash.
There's a lot of sites. A friend of mine posted about going to his friend's house near where the Eaton fire was in Altadena, Pasadena area, and driving through neighborhoods to get there and just seeing complete devastation. And all that's left is like the chimney of a house. And you know, thankfully for his friends, they were not as adversely affected, but there's still a lot of damage from everything going on. I stayed pretty clear of it, had to deal with smoke in the air and ash on my car, but those are minor inconveniences compared to what other
Oh
people.
yeah, not having a house.
But I had posted a thing that popped up in my feed about Asheville restoring one of the main roads that recently, which was good news to hear because you know,
it's
being able to get through to places is key to getting.
I'm
things
building a
taken
house, and
care of.
there's a bridge I was taking every day, and all of a sudden, for you know, months I couldn't drive across it, and they finally got it fixed. I was so like, oh, this is so nice. I'm so glad this bridge is open. And I get halfway through, and the bridge goes, you know. No.
Hopefully, the new construction will stay for a while. Hopefully.
Well, you know, the damage to most of these bridges, they're either like totally gone, you know, but some of the bigger bridges are still there. But what got wiped out was where the bridge hits the land.
Right, all that
that was where
eroded
it was
away,
worse.
as it were.
And so it's not stable anymore.
Yeah, or it's undermined or something like that. Yeah.
But I'm excited about this episode.
Yeah, we were talking before the show, or before we started, that this is, spoiler alert, the first Star Wars property where they say the S word. And so that'll be fun to hear again. I don't know if I've watched this since we did the last watch along. Sherry was going to watch this episode today and didn't, so she'll be getting a little more fresh eyes on it.
I went to the dollar store instead.
There you go.
There we go. That's a good use of time. I feel like Darth Vader. I feel like I'm going to bring balance to the Force in this one. You know, where Sherry and Jeff are like, yeah, and I'm like, yeah, yeah, okay. I thought it was actually, I thought the show was well done. I just didn't like it that much. You know, the whole
to each his own, as it were. You know,
I'm not a big on the prison shows. You know, where the guys get caught and put in prison. And
yeah, that was the second half of the season, right? So.
And I've never been a big fan of those. So it's kind of like
skirting
Batman
along
versus
until then.
Superman. When Batman versus Superman came out, I said, I hate that storyline. I like Batman. I like Superman. I hate the storyline.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that either.
Yeah,
I'm also trying to remember if this episode is the one where we find out that there is underwear in Star Wars.
Well, yeah,
next week's
what's her
episode.
name? I forget the
Bix.
Bix, yeah, Bix. Yeah, we'll get to see that.
It might be episode 3.
Well, one way or the other, we'll find out soon enough, either tonight or next week. Oh, next week is my birthday. I wonder if I'm going to be on or not.
Woo-hoo.
We'll see. I may have other plans, but
Jeff will get.
I'm sure you'll have other plans.
Well, I'm supposed to stay off my foot, so really, I can't really, and I'm on antibiotics at the moment, so I shouldn't be out drinking. and I shouldn't be doing anything where I stand a lot or walk a lot. So I had
In a
actually,
wheelchair.
well, yeah, I had, and then I need somebody to push it. I had or have a reservation for Disneyland for next Friday, I believe, but I'm probably going to end up canceling that one just because.
No, get one of those carts.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, 60, 80 bucks, whatever it costs for one of those carts. I mean,
Oh.
it's not that bad. Michael just make fun of me because I crashed into the wall at Star Tours the last time I had one.
If Mike would go with you, he'd push you around.
Well, yeah, right. It pushed me around. No, but yeah, so they're interesting to drive. The ones that they that are like the ones you get from Disney, because there's other companies that provide them and will deliver them or drop them to you, like at your hotel.
At hotel.
Yeah, whatever. But I got the one from Disneyland proper, and they have this weird thing where they speed up when you turn. Like if you're cranking it and you're going straight, you're going a certain speed, but when you start to turn, it like accelerates a little bit. And so I was cutting in to go to the handicap entrance to go on Star Tours, and I went to go turn to back in to the spot where they wanted me to park, and it just like lurched into the wall and like nailed the wall right by Star Tours.
It's kind of like the golf course, the golf cart that was taking Ryan Day after the national championship football game. The girl drove right into the wall.
Yeah, it's easier to do than you expect. But yeah, so we'll see. I may see if anybody else wants to join me or anything. But I've been working on swag for Celebration, and I got
so many cool designs.
2 packages of stickers from Sticker App today. I have a couple of Marios. Actually, they're supposed to go the other way around. They're supposed to fight. So it's supposed to be Anakin and Obi-Wan in Mario form. And it just says Star Wars Celebration Japan 2025 in my...
Now you going to Japan?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless...
Oh, your first out-of-country celebration. Yeah,
for number 11. I felt a lot of the skip FOMO from the London one. So
it was all over the place.
I felt that I also really want to go to Japan, and then my buddy Lamont, who's my Celebration kind of pal, as it were, we've gone to every celebration together. Is all about going to Japan and also going to celebrations. So it's like,
so Lamont's coming.
Yep. So if he's gonna,
Cool.
I think he's gonna work the door at the not so with you.
Okay, cool.
So you can have the big guys keeping all the little Asian people
riffraff out.
But yeah, so it'll should be a good time, and spend a few days prior to the con, and couple days, 1 or 2 days after in Japan, in Tokyo. I don't think we're going to get out of Tokyo much, but I do plan to do 1 day at one of the Disney parks with the group, I believe. Mm-hmm. I really don't want to spend more than a day doing that, because I'd like to see more of Tokyo specifically, if not, more of Japan in general. So I think I'll have to flip a coin and see, which park I go to, and maybe there'll be another trip in the future, and I'll experience the other park at that time. But for now, it'll be probably, I'm leaning towards Tokyo Disneyland versus Disney Sea. Although I've heard good things about both parks, and one thing I've heard about Disney Sea is that it's less like Disney centric or like traditional Disney park style. And so I kind of want to go to the one that's more sort of a Disney park,
more familiar.
Yeah. Also, it's based on the original. I think their castle is small, like our castle here in Anaheim, and also it's laid out more like Disneyland or Magic Kingdom in Florida, with a similar kind of layout. But it also has things like, instead of wasted space where Autopia and the submarines are, they have Beauty and the Beast ride and stuff like that, which is supposed to be amazing. Karine was talking about that and said that she likes that better than Rise of the Resistance. Blasphemy. We'll see, but it's a same basic car that you're in, except it does more stuff, like like you're in a bowl and it moves this way as well as the car itself moving around. So that looks like it could be fun. We have Disney at home. Yes, we do, Troy. But anyways,
I
when
would
you're over there,
lean towards Disney Seas because I would want to see something that was different.
Yeah,
I'm gonna leave on Monday, arrive on Tuesday. Wednesday I'm gonna be in the park. Thursday I'm gonna be in the park. Friday I'm gonna be in the con. Saturday, Sunday, Monday I'm going home.
Okay.
So, a little. I think we'll do another trip at some point in time to go to Japan, but it's gonna be all Star Wars.
That's gonna be nonstop. I'm planning to arrive Monday, do either Tuesday or Wednesday in the park, and then Thursday is not so in the evening, and we're switching hotels, and so there'll be some milling around Tokyo, but it'll be a weird transition day, and then the con, and then give me a day or two to kind of rest after the con and leave on Tuesday, I think. So it will be interesting, and some of it still isn't set in stone, but we are a couple minutes out from our normal start time. We are watching season 1 of Andor, episode 2, which is called That Would Be Me. Hey, and we have Skip on. That almost applies to
Skip. This is your episode.
Yes.
Where's that? Let's find that graphic.
Yeah, here we go. Bang.
No, wrong one. This one.
Here we go. Well, of course I know. He's me.
Yes, that would be me. So, it should
I wore that shirt yesterday.
Oh, nice. I think that design came out pretty well, so I would wear it too. Speaking of shirts, we still have a whole bunch of shirts in our TeePublic that if anybody wants to visit, let me see here.
Bunch of new ones.
There was a whole bunch that got added.
Some are like convention based, but there's a couple of skeleton crew ones.
I got that shirt and wore it to Fanboy on Knoxville, and Brandon was there, and Dave and I are standing in line waiting for him, and you're kind of away from where he's doing autographs.
Yeah, a few feet back.
And he looked over, and he must have read it, and he goes, "Skip," and just because obviously I've interacted with him via social media, but we've never really met, and so for him to he read the shirt.
Yeah, well, it is a big advertisement for you, so
yes,
you can read it from a little bit of ways.
Yes, it's a distance.
But before we get started, we do have a news desk coming up this week. Mark should be back with Gary, and they are going to be talking more stuff about Celebration Japan. And also, there's another giveaway. So if you haven't entered, look for the post on the main Facebook page, and there's a link where you can enter to win passes for Celebration Japan. 3 days, 3 single days versus a 3-day pass. But it still would be, you'll be there, for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And that's kind of cool to have actually 3 different badges. Mm-hmm. I've always considered doing that, and I never have because I just buy the multi-day badge when they go on sale. But so that'll be fun. And also we have a speaker series coming up. And if you guys have any questions for Simon Williamson, look for this post or scan the QR code on the screen right now, and there's a form to fill out where you can ask questions. It's going to be a pre-recorded show, so they won't be live questions. So if you have anything you'd like to ask them, try to get it in before they tape it this weekend. And, maybe your question will come up on the show and Simon will answer. He looks like he's worked on quite a few things. He's got Dark Crystal, Muppet Show movies.
Muppet Christmas Carol, that's a classic.
Great Muppet Caper. That's the what's the other one? The pirate one. So a lot of cool puppeteering, and of course Max Rebo, the original Max Rebo. Although our friend Tamara is also Max Rebo in the current Disney Plus shows. She was in Book of Boba Fett as working Max Rebo, so that's kind of cool.
Mhm.
And again, we have our not so virtual cantina special edition coming up in Japan with our great sponsor Hyperspace Props. If you need anything sort of credit or credit Sabak related, they have a lot of different stuff. Ashley has some amazing Hera headpiece things that she bought she put together that they sell. Get on that. Use the code NSVCSE for 10% off your purchase. And it's almost time to start.
I'm at the plus sign.
So excited.
All right, so here we go. I'm going to bring up the countdown, and then we will be on our way into Andor Season 1, Episode 2. So here we go. And don't forget not to skip any of the previews or previously ons or any of the stuff. We like to see what happened last time. It's interesting to see the variations of the Star Wars cantinas that we've had in some of these shows. This one's a little more posh than your normal one, except it's got degenerate officers in there causing trouble.
But still, it has those booths that are kind of like
those recessed
very
booths,
private,
and the sort of round bar idea, and the biggest simp in Star Wars, Cyril.
I love how this was like absolutely the most forgettable crime ever, and then there's one idiot that's stirring the damn pot.
Right. He just has to take it deeper. Like he's doing his own research. Yeah.
Obsessive little shit.
And then he has a weird relationship later on with
Mama.
Deirdre? Oh, Mama as well, but yeah.
He and Mama are a little, what was it?
Psycho vibes.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, I do like the some of those scenes just to watch the background stuff because they have so many weird retro items that are, sort of remind me of the 70s stuff that they threw into the original series or trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to see like some oddball machine that was futuristic, back then, but is obviously, not what you would use nowadays.
I do like the Mon Mothma and storyline, as well as who's the gentleman that gets him the job?
Luther.
Luthen.
Luke.
Yeah, Luther. Whatever his name is.
Yeah. Sarsgaard. Yeah, he's
Sarsgaard. Yeah, his character. Those are the two bright spots in this show.
And then we get their flashbacks here to see the kids doing their exploring here.
What is it? Lord of the Flies type of thing going on.
Yeah, there aren't very many adults in this sort of tribe, are there?
There are no adults in this tribe.
Yeah, it's all teens and preteens and younger.
Well, we soon find out why.
So it's this kind of primitive version of Star Wars is kind of cool to see as well, where they're sort of like, humanoid Ewoks, as it were, making do in the forest and with their sort of primitive weapons, but surrounded by this technology and interfacing with it at some point.
This coming up is just devastating to see.
Yeah. Just strip mining, abandoning the place. Taking the natural resources and making credits on at Atten.
This is the way.
Now this was cool.
This guy is very cool with his hammers. He's got his earplugs on, ear mufflers.
And it's like such pageantry to it.
Yeah,
It's
there's nobody watching him, but he still does his whole, his whole dance, as it were. It's an interesting bell too, because you don't think.
Yeah, because it's kind of down low. You're used to seeing them up and
Also,
banging them so they vibrate.
Square shaped versus like a traditional bell.
Mm-hmm.
But then you can see how it has openings and stuff in it. Time to get off work or go to work.
You did a poochies.
Yeah, those dog things are freaky. It's kind of cool to see the scrap yard and the working elements of the city with these guys in the marketplace.
And it's not an incredibly warm environment. Everybody's got coats and layers.
Seems very sort of moist and cold, sort of London-esque, maybe because they filmed it there. I don't know. But they also get a lot of old school British accents from like the original trilogy because they filmed it in London.
Yeah, a lot of the actors, British.
Even some of the ones that are in like, character actors that are voiced by somebody who sounds semi-British. But look at those displays. It's so cool with the big sort of CRT type tube and very basic graphics. The set dressing on these shows is just great. The one thing that really kind of bugged me a little bit, but we talked about it last week, was the fact that there's so much stuff made with bricks as opposed to being covered in stucco and not noticeable that maybe it would be made with bricks. But then again, they kind of lean into that later on in like the final episode.
And he's seeing this as a way to get rid of what he believes his competition is.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just, you just want to shoot everybody.
He has
one thing that I like is that a lot of this is real sets.
Oh, yeah. They didn't do a lot of volume or stagecraft type stuff for this show, I don't think.
I remember before it was released seeing some kind of picture of
like the whole little city set.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really nice when they can do that. And then it also lends itself to, you have 5 different angles of the same place and it can look different enough to just set it, dress it slightly different. There's an interesting dynamic with him and Marva, which we don't know a lot about yet. Oh, yeah. He always sounds so sad, that droid.
Mm-hmm.
Was it something emo, B5 emo or something? I don't know. Anyways.
See, here's something they corrected from Rogue One. In Rogue One, they said he was from Fest. And then you come back and say, oh, he's from Canary, but
she just mentioned about Fest right there, so as the cover or whatever, right?
Yeah. I think at one point she tells him, you tell people that you're from Fest.
Mm-hmm. Oh, when he was like younger or whatever? Bastards. Oh no.
That would be me. There was the line.
Hold on himself. That is such an interesting design for a droid, where he's kind of reminiscent of droids we've seen, but different enough.
Well, I always just said he looked like the guy from Black Hole.
He's got black hole vibes, although he's more, chunky and geometric
Yeah.
as opposed to round.
Yep.
But also that kind of insecurity thing is similar to Black Hole. But he's also got Wally vibes in terms of his design and sort of shape.
Yeah.
And the emotion. He hasn't fallen in love with another droid yet, but who knows? Maybe he'll fall in love with K2SO in the next season. I love this mystery behind Luthen's character and
Buyer.
the buyer. What's he doing? What's he want with the item, etc.
Lots of jealousy in this show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tim's not
yeah.
happy.
He's
And there's no need for it.
over
She
here.
doesn't hold. She holds a place in her heart for him, but it's
they're more like brother and sister than they are.
yeah.
Mhm.
And he keeps worrying. Oh, he's
Stealing my girl kind of thing, or he's got too much of her attention than he likes, which is horrible motivation, but obviously kind of kicks in.
And let's throw in some alcohol so we can have bad judgment.
Yeah.
There you go. Get him pissed off. I
Well,
like his flask though.
alcohol is always a representative of I'm about to do something bad or stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
Stupid.
Poor judgment. Ooh, telephone booths. I didn't realize they were canon in Star Wars either. Have we seen telephone booths before? Something similar? I think maybe, but some of these interiors of these practical sets are amazing looking though.
Yeah.
This one with the angled glass and stuff. They've got a lot of resources working on trying to find Andor here. When the boss man said to drop it, and there's the.
See, I just hate this guy.
Oh, Cyril's a punk ass. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely
There's a woman from the club.
Oh yes.
Yep.
ID him.
Comes in just in time to see the picture of Cassian.
Yep. Oh, that flask is kind of interesting looking. Sort of a glass, weird shape, but sort of flask style. Might have to see if I get one of my glass blowing friends to make me something like that. But yeah, this show is kind of a slow burn. It's definitely not as fast paced as some of the other shows, but I think they're going to change that a little bit with the next season.
I hope so.
Yeah. Well, it's because this is like over a year.
Yeah.
The whole season.
12 episodes versus 3.
And the next season's going to be 4 years.
Yeah, so they're going to have to kind of wrap things up a little quicker, maybe. Oh, is this where we get to see the space underwear?
I think.
There it is. There we go. I just narked out on your friend, but that's beside the point. But Yeah, the set dressing in all these sets is amazing. But yeah, there's a lot of kind of slow burn moments like this.
He's going, she's not going to like me when she finds out what I did.
Yeah, it's like, should I tell her? Oh, wait. And this guy, he looks so different without his weird little cap on. It's such an interesting sort of outfit or uniform design. And the color scheme is kind of weird, I thought, with the orange and the blue.
Now, see, it seems more red on my, it could be my screen.
I think when we get some outside scenes, we can see the colors a little bit better. I think it's more apparent on the hat too. But is this a Scottish accent?
I'm on mute, so I.
Oh, okay.
Scotland doesn't exist in Star Wars.
Yes, but any accent from the UK or Ireland does. But yeah, they're both kind of leaning into tracking Homeboy down.
He's sucking up.
Yeah, yeah.
Did I mention how much I like this show?
He has a very ruddy complexion. I wonder if he drinks a little on the job.
And they dive deep into this whole emotion of nobody wants him caught, but he gets caught anyways. I mean, everybody's like, oh, screw it, this guy was an asshole, so he's dead, and don't just leave it alone.
Well, that's what the supervisor was feeling.
Yeah,
sure.
And then you got your little I'm gonna make a name for myself shithead, who's stirring the pot, and then he gets instigated by the men will really like that officer is on the line with them helping out, and he's like, yeah, I'm all for it. Yeah.
Help selling it, keep him motivated to go after Cassian.
Putting gas on the fire per se.
Yep.
I
find this kind of odd that he has this little stash spot in such a sort of weirdly accessible, ship hole.
Is it like in a junkyard?
Yeah.
And I get that
it's in the junkyard.
And I get that they're trying to set this whole. Oh yeah,
look at that.
looks familiar. They're trying to set this whole tempo of what happened to Cassian to make him be the spy and the bad guy he was in Rogue One.
Right.
But some of this really, doesn't reflect a direct effect on who he is and why he does this. I mean, the whole thing going to prison just, didn't add to I'm a spy and I'll do anything. Now, losing his sister and something happening to her, that definitely sells that story. But,
right.
Getting caught involved in something like this and then being sent off to prison, not even for this crime.
Yeah. Sort of dumb luck getting picked up.
Yeah, it doesn't, in my mind, it didn't help create the character. I know what they were trying to do, but it didn't help create the character.
I think they wanted to try to make him a little more sympathetic leading into, sort of retconning Rogue One a little bit, although it was an amazing movie. But they like to fill in the gaps nowadays with a lot of these shows, and it is the same writer as Rogue One, is it not?
I don't know.
I think so. Tony Gilroy.
Did Tony write this too?
Yeah, he's like executive producer, and I think he was the head writer. The last time I went to one of the Disney Studios screenings of episodes from this first season, I think it was the Narkina 5 arc, or a couple of episodes from that when Andy Serkis was there. Tony was supposed to be there, but that was the day before they had planned the writer's strike was going into effect. So he was trying to get writing for season 2 finished before he had to effectively stop working. So he wasn't there for that, which was a bummer. I had met him at the prior one when they screened a couple of the first episodes, this one and the previous one, I believe. And but he wasn't there at the second one. But Andy was cool, so that didn't matter too much. Yeah, and then the mystery behind Luthen here is he's got such a trippy ship.
I know. I love this ship.
And then we find out even more stuff about it later.
Oh, yeah.
But they did kind of give it away with the trailer, showed that whole scene where he does that little flippy move and things come out the sides. Spoiler alert. I love how his walking stick is very reminiscent of like a sparring saber or something.
Mm-hmm.
It just looks like a saber with a practical blade as opposed to a light blade. And then you always know they're shady when they park their ship way on the outskirts. It's like, how long is that walk, man? Oh, hammer time. He's back. Has that guy done any signings? It would be fun to have him sign a shot like one of these.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can investigate that and have him come out for one of our future events. Well, this is creepy.
Yeah, it is.
Homeboy, and he's just
couldn't sleep.
He's thinking too much. Yeah. And that gets you in trouble sometimes.
Yeah. There were just too many characters that you love to hate in the show.
That's true.
There wasn't a good balance of the ones you love and the ones you hate.
I do like some of the weird little tie-ins, like her asking if he has calf, and then they have the calf drinks in Batu. That's basically coffee. So that's kind of fun.
Just a shortened down version of caffeine.
Exactly.
Well, then Coca-Cola could be calf too.
Yeah, it's variation.
Yeah, but they always refer to it as hot.
Yeah. Although that one of the calves that they serve on Batu, I think it has. Well, I guess it is warm, but they put like the cream cheese foam in it, and then it has like cocoa puffs in it.
That's what I was thinking of. There's one with Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, that one's good. That's the only one I've tried. And I'm not a coffee drinker, but I fell to the peer pressure when John and Mike were getting one time, and I actually enjoyed it. But that was because it was very sweet, and you got all these other flavors going on that kind of overpower the coffee. So I love how B is like his sort of like his conscience.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and he's very old because you can tell the nicks and dings.
Oh yeah, he's beat up, which is interesting too, because like it seems like the metal he's made out of is like the color that it is, versus seeing like paint removed from elements of him. It's more like just dents. Uh-oh. Marva's concerned. Oh, look at that little Bantha toy. That's so cool.
Uh-huh.
That's something that you can find in Batu. Is that like what kind of weapon is that?
Is that from when he was on
right.
Kenari?
Yeah, that was his sort of staff from Kenari. There we go.
Staff, or was it a dart, blow dart?
Oh, right. Blow darts. Yes. Look at this crazy ship. Crash landed. That green stuff coming out of there is like No, I don't want to go in there and breathe that, but it doesn't seem to phase him too much. It's interesting how
yellow he is.
look at that. That's nasty. That could be his species, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're very sort of wary of approaching, but still curious. And they probably get a lot of resources from anything like that actually happens if it's happened before. I love how they send in the scout, and then everybody else follows up. And then they got the cloning patch? Is that what he had on his arm? Is that what that symbol is?
Oh, I can't tell.
It's like a...
Here I'm leaning in like I can actually feel it.
Yeah, like, look around. Oh. Uh-oh. That's not good. Oh. No. Took her out. Didn't even give her a warning. Oop, getting stuck by darts. All he had to do was move when she poked her the first time, and then she wouldn't be dead. And now he is definitely dead. Or whatever that those darts have on him.
Yeah, it was.
Like I said, I have the closed captionings on, and when the kids are speaking, it just says "speaking Canary."
Yeah, it's kind of. I'm not always a fan of that because it's it sort of leaves a bit of a gap in terms of what you get an idea of how they're feeling, obviously, but you're not fully sure of what they're trying to convey. But I like how this one girl has sort of like an X-wing pilot outfit that she must have salvaged from somewhere, and
it's like, okay, well, I came here for something, I'm gonna go get it.
Yeah, then he's like, I got some curiosity I need to go fulfill.
And cut back to current.
Yeah, this Ferrix locations are really cool.
And my Disney Plus started buffering.
Well, we're right about 26 minutes in, so how many more do we got? We got about 8 or 10 minutes left of this episode. Well, they got a barber's chair behind him in that one little alcove.
It's kind of funny that it keeps getting Canary. He'd never told anybody about Canary. Now all of a sudden Canary's all over the place.
Right. It's common knowledge.
Mine went back to the beginning.
Oh, no. Yeah, so we're at 26, 45, 47.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
I like that he has his little connections and they're willing to work with him. I'm wondering who played that little guy in there. If it's one of the smaller actors that we know, or if it
just a child. It looked like a child.
I'm imagining it's probably a little person, just based on sort of
the facial structure
and the sort of the body language.
Oh yeah, now I see the orange.
Yeah, it's very orange now.
Especially, like you said, on the hat.
Yeah, that whole bill. And then that's sort of an offshoot of the Imperial officer style hat. It's basically the same hat, but with, different color scheme.
Ah.
And now they got a name for him, Andor.
They're making him sound like he's this.
I'm trying to get excited about this show, and it's not working for me.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a lot of I don't like this guy kind of stuff for sure in this series and in early episodes for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting introduced to people that you're not fond of. Cyril with his tailored outfit. Everybody else is sort of frumpy. That is kind of a cool get-up. I don't think I've ever seen anybody cosplay in that.
No.
I've seen tons of people cosplay as prisoners.
Prisoners, gosh.
It's such an easy one to do.
It's very common. And Reynald was talking about donning his prisoner outfit for the episodes where they're in prison. So I'm thinking I might wear my shirt for one or two of those. I haven't worn the whole thing. I only have worn the shirt because the version I got was from AliExpress, and it's a little thinner than the good actual cosplay version of that outfit. So
not really comfortable to be out in public in.
Yeah, it's like wearing pajamas in public, which I don't tend to do much.
Yeah, the troops are so very much underwhelmed by.
Yeah, they're like forced to be like, all right, we're on board.
Well said, sir.
Yeah, he's the only one like giving them encouragement.
Everybody else is like, oh, what a dick.
He's here thinking, I'm going to make such a name for myself.
I'm going to get a promotion.
Yeah, and he loses his job at the end, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets stripped of whatever title
Command
he has.
or something.
Yeah, and then he also gets put in that
that little office job.
Yeah,
right?
the giant office cubicle complex
Where Tim Meadows works.
Yes. See, there's a couple of aliens in the background there, but there's so many, like the main characters are just regular humanoid, and that was one thing that I wasn't real fond of in this show. It's like there's a little bit of like you got to really look for the characters that aren't humanoid.
Mm-hmm.
And since I've talked about that, they've stood out to me more. But still, it's like
it's cheaper if you don't create aliens.
Well, yeah. Also, it's cheaper to have them in the background, and you don't have to manipulate their features to make them talk, because that requires a whole set of people to work. And just having them sort of walking through with a mask on, as it were, or sitting down in the background is a lot more cost effective, I would imagine. It seemed like they spent a lot more on the sets than they did on the creature.
Luther's just doing his best to like turn this guy off and make.
Yeah. It's like, don't be trying to.
Don't talk to me. Can't you tell? I'm trying to melt in.
Yeah. And this guy with his sort of old man hat that's very real world. Look at that's a big sprawling.
Well, I like it. Luther smiles. He's like, okay, if I piss him off too much, he's gonna be more concerned with who I am and what I'm doing.
Right.
If I just kind of semi smile and semi pay attention to him.
Right. He just gives them enough attention.
Talk about this scene. This visualization used so many times.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And that was
that was it.
That was it.
Quicker than I expected. Yeah. 32 minutes. All right.
Yeah, written by Tony Gilroy.
Created by Tony Gilroy. All right. But yeah, it's just more sort of world building, and it makes sense that they when they originally dropped them, that they put this one and the other one together just to give you a little bit more sort of.
Well, and they're very
momentum.
somewhat closely related. They're setting up, season one of any show is always setting up the characters, setting up the relationships, who they are, what their character arc development is going to be.
Right.
KG, I'm glad that you're up for this show. I'm doing my best.
Yeah.
Skip is not a fan, Kay.
I am the
so fan.
Yeah, I'm the, what do you call it? I bring balance to the Force in Andor.
There you go. It does work in arcs, and then the next episode is where they actually use the S word. I was off.
And season 2 is definitely going to work in arcs. Okay,
I didn't see it in the
No, he didn't say it. It's when there's an explosion later, and it's in the next episode. I'm
In the next
100%,
episode.
99% sure that that's the next episode. When, because they haven't gotten to Ferrix yet, right? They're on their way.
Oh, yeah.
Cyril and his crew.
Yeah, they're on their way.
They're in the city when that happens, and that guy with the Scottish accent is on the roof or balcony of some building, and the explosion happens, and that's when he drops the S word.
Kay, I agree with you that this is actually really well done. It's just not my story. Like you said, it's your content, and you like this content, and I think that's great. And there's a little something for everybody in Star Wars. It just really wasn't my content. This was not something that got me really excited. I loved Rogue One. I loved that movie. I loved,
stands alone well.
Everything. So. I just didn't, man. I want to say I dug this show. I thought it was very well done. The quality is there. I just didn't like the story. That's just me.
But again, it's a slow burn as well. So it starts out it takes a while to sort of ramp up into what's actually happening.
And I think what I dig the most, a lot of people go, because I dig a lot of the animation. I love Rebels and season 7 of especially
Clone
the
Wars.
second half. The last two, I say this all the time. The last 2 episodes of Clone Wars is some of the best.
I would say the last 3 episodes.
Yeah, I would just say the last 2. But the last 2 episodes of Clone Wars is probably some of the best Star Wars content, live action or animation.
Yeah, they really had their stride when they came back to do that season. And
I remember
good way to wrap it up.
Anaheim, we were. I went to a panel with Dave Filoni and one of his producers, and they talked about how they had done the 6 seasons, and this lady came up to Dave and said, "Would you like, if we got you season 7, would you like to do it?" And he was like, "Yeah, find me the money." And she actually went out and got Disney or somebody to come up with the money to do season 7, and that's how that got produced.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was a good choice. Definitely one of the strongest seasons of Clone Wars, and it's really cool to see the culmination in terms of story and animation build from like the Clone Wars cartoon movie, the first season through 7th season, and the animation just kept getting better and better and better as they progressed. And then character designs.
And if you really want to blow your mind, you go and you find on YouTube where they have interchanged the episodes of that final season of Clone Wars with Revenge of the Sith.
And Order 66.
Yes.
And some people have 5-hour cuts of that.
Yeah.
We're still waiting for our jump drives, I think.
Uh-huh.
Did I play that for you guys when you were here?
We watched the first we got up to where it said intermission,
and it was 11:30 or something, and we're like,
everybody's
okay,
like,
to call it quits.
This is good, but I gotta sleep.
Yes, so but
there is a version available on YouTube that you can find too.
It's not quite as complete as the one that Skip has, but it's still very good, and it's really cool to see the interchange, the intercut scenes that correspond to each other and different views of similar actions and activities going on. So see, Troy says the ultimate cut.
I have the 5-hour ultimate cut.
It's quite lengthy.
Yeah, 5 hours.
Anywho, but again, it's this is leading up to
the hurricane.
Oh yeah,
this was the only thing I could watch.
Yeah, having something local that you could watch versus relying on internet.
We couldn't. There was no internet. There was no local cable. I mean, all the cable was out in our area.
And you don't have a DVD player or Blu-ray player handy?
I do now, don't I, Sherry?
Yes. I brought him one.
Nice. Now he just has to build that Blu-ray collection back up.
I talked about how I didn't have a Blu-ray player anymore because I'd gone to streaming everything, and then I didn't have anything during. And boy, Sherry shows up. I got you something.
Very cool. Well, that was a good episode, I think. It was more leading. I think it's more character building and situation building than, some of the future episodes.
Everybody needed to have, what's their motivation? The boyfriend who's jealous of Andor and
Thanks,
the the investigator who's just like obsessively overeager and all kinds of shit.
Yeah, you get a lot of yes, definitely. We get a lot of that sort of his motivations. Sort of Bix a little bit. We get Cyril's motivations more, although we kind of already understood that. And then his lackey, I forget that character's name, the guy with the Scottish accent.
And then Kay, the other thing that you missed before we sign off tonight is that the best idea for the next family vacation is a Disney cruise.
Ooh.
That's what we want to do.
We just need to sell that to the CSO.
Chief Shenanigans Officer.
He's out tonight, but maybe Dave and I can bring that back up next week or whenever we're all back on again.
Yeah, and we'll just keep talking about it. Everybody, has to mention it on their shows and
yeah, there you go.
Tuesday night chat, and we just keep repeating it.
Yep. So what do we got going on? We have the
Let's see, it's Thursday.
News desk on Saturday, and if you haven't already and have any desire to get a free set of passes for the 3 days of Star Wars Celebration Japan, jump on the Facebook group, look for the post. Spencer's posted multiple times in a few different groups as well about entering to win a set of passes, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, single day passes, one set. But if you have any desire to go to Japan, that's a good way to do it since they're pretty much sold out. Saturday is the sold out for sure. And
you just have to get yourself to Japan and find a hotel for yourself.
But that's, getting the
Everything
badges is sort of half the battle. So
ask Troy, he did it.
Yeah. Troy was lucky winner of the 3-day that we gave away a couple weeks ago. And then, so that's Saturday.
And within an hour, he had plane tickets and hotel reservations.
Yeah, he really went to town once he found out that he won. Then Skip will be on with
Ashley and Mark Van Olen on Monday doing Rebels Revisited.
Is this
Clone Wars Revisited?
Is Sunday?
Somebody has to do that.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Is Sunday a fifth Sunday?
Sunday is not a fifth Sunday, so we have
Unifying Force this Sunday.
Yeah, it's Unifying Force. No, wait. This week is Jedi Archives. They're going to do Tarkin Family Business Parts 1 and 2, and then on Monday it'll be Clone Wars Revisited Episode 18. We obviously have Zoom on Tuesdays, so if you want to talk to people about stuff, celebration or otherwise.
Yes, please come join us on Zoom. We had several new people last week.
Right.
And the nice thing about Tuesdays is that instead of just the 3 talking heads that you see here, you can be a talking head as well.
Yeah. Although it's not broadcast or recorded, so you can kind of feel free to talk about whatever.
And say what you want to.
That's nice.
And we do.
And then next Wednesday, we'll have a new episode of Daughters of the Galaxy, hopefully. And we'll be back to episode 3 of Andor on Thursday. So I'm not sure if I'll be on, depending. But anybody want to wish me a happy birthday next Thursday, feel free. And that's about it. But if you we have let me post this guy. We have a new speaker series coming up.
Oh yeah.
So if you are interested in an amazing talent, Simon Williamson worked on many of the Henson movies, and he was also Max Rebo in the original trilogy, in Return of the Jedi, and he's going to be on with Jonathan Notman, I believe, and they'll be talking about his work and his vast array of things that he's done and puppeteered and created. And if you scan that QR code or go to the convoluted URL at the bottom, you can submit a question that he may or may, probably will answer. If we, get a good amount of questions, he'll definitely be answering those. And that's going to be a pre-record. So you want to do that so that you can have your question answered. And then when it airs, you'll be able to watch it and see if he answered your question.
Mm-hmm.
And looks like Lonnie just joined us a little late, but that's cool.
Hi, Lonnie.
Lonnie.
Don't forget, we will be in Japan. We will have the Not So Virtual Cantina Special Edition on Thursday night prior to the start of Celebration Japan. And it will be a good time.
Do we know when Spencer's going to announce the guest for that?
I don't know if he's determined exactly when. It shouldn't be too long. There's also possibility of, other things revolving around that event that will be announced shortly. And, just keep an eye out on the page. And hello to Lonnie. And anyways, yeah, it would be nice to see a couple episodes of Andor 2 while we're in Japan. We're kind of thinking that's very likely, considering when the show drops will be like, what, a week and a half after.
Mm-hmm.
After the con. So that's very likely, and I mean, it's going to be probably one of the bigger panels. Hopefully, Diego's going to be there. He's already announced. So
I will get to stand next to him for a photo and get him to sign my photo op.
There you go. Get the double kill. So yeah, and don't forget, we all are still part of the Neil Nation. Again, more TeePublic plugs if you are looking for some fun Star Wars related shirts.
I love that you got those shirts on, those girls.
Yeah, Dave does some funny stuff with those types of things, so he did a great job.
He's very talented with that.
So yeah. Anyways, keep an eye on the page. There's going to be more info coming. We try to get things posted as soon as they're released by the official site, and I think we have more activity on our fan-based Star Wars Celebration page than the actual Star Wars Celebration page, unfortunately. So it's good. It's a good resource, and
somebody's got to pick up the load and carry it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's some people who've never received an email from them, even though they've signed up multiple times.
Yeah. They seem to be lacking in terms. I mean, they have StarWarsCelebration.com, and if you go there looking for content, you're going to find little to none. Whereas if you go to StarWars.com, there's tons of Celebration content. It's like, why is that not like redundant and on the actual Celebration site? And I think they're going to probably have another app for the show and push a lot of the stuff there, which I mean is good, but it's sort of
the
hard.
Apps have always been sad.
Yeah, they're not the greatest. So, but Lonnie's talking about Neil there with his species that we found out about recently. He is so fine, but actually the kid that plays him bought some Neil Nation merch from our store. So
Lonnie likes a long trunk.
Okay. Anyways, that was fun. We have
If you're bad.
Well, Neil has a trunk.
He doesn't talk through it though. But yeah, so we have episode 3 next week, and we'll just continue on the way to Celebration. And then I think after we're done with, I think we're gonna be done with season 1 of Andor. The Thursday prior to the Thursday prior to everybody leaving for Celebration that's going. And then that week of Celebration, including the Thursday, the day before, there will be our Celebration nightly news with a few people that are going to be still here at home. So keep an eye out for that. That'll be a lot of good content coming from that. They'll recap all the announcements and things that both StarWars.com and us as fans will experience. So it'll be a nice mix. We had fun doing that for London, and it should be cool for Japan as well. The time difference is a little weirder, but they'll be on at night, and it'll be like the next morning for us in Japan. So there'll be maybe some breaking news, possibly in terms of things that get announced, early in the day. So that'll be fun to keep an eye on.
While we're standing in line to go to the first panel, we can break in live.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, yeah, exactly.
It would be 10 or 11 o'clock at night.
And Reynald will have his
Narkina
prisoner outfit on.
No way out, Ray.
I will wear my shirt for one of the episodes when they're in the prison, doing the prison thing, building the Death Star components. Spoiler alert, that we find out about in this show. So everything ties back to the original trilogy, which is kind of cool, having this take place prior to that. Anywho, hopefully we'll be back to our mostly normal scheduling next week, and otherwise Skip and Sherry can join Spencer and Dave if they want next week. Whether or not I'm not sure if I'll be on or not, but the possibility is, since I'm sort of on limited motion, as it were, for my foot. But anywho,
may the force be with you.
Thanks for joining us, everybody, including you two. I appreciate you jumping on last minute. And
no problem.
No problem.
Like Ray said,
we got our uniforms on.
Yeah.
Like Ray said, one way out, and we will see you guys on the next episode. So have a great one. May the force.
Good night.
May the force be with you.